Our sponsors for this episode are Gambino's Pizza in Newton. Gambino's Pizza in Newton is located at 1029 Washington Road in Cedar Village. They are open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you love pizza as much as I do, you know that you always have time and room for pizza. Not only can you dine in or carry out, but they have a huge menu of items to pick from, including wings, pizzas, salad bar, and not only that, but they have the only pizza buffet in Newton. If you're looking for a family-friendly environment or just need to stop in for a quick lunch over the noon hour, Gambino's has got you covered. Visit Gambino's Pizza in Newton at 1029 Washington Road in Cedar Village, or give them a call at 316-866-1778. That's 316-866-1778 to order out or ask questions. You can even order online. Look them up on Facebook, give them a like, follow, and a share. Gambino's Pizza in Newton. Carlos's Kitchen and Cater. Carlos's Kitchen and Cater, located at 114 South Kansas Avenue in Newton, is one of Newton's best kept secrets. Or maybe you know about them and have already stopped in or carried out some of the most delicious Mexican food in our region. If you're just hearing about them, you need to give them a try. If you're a repeat customer, you'll already know why. Give Carlos's Kitchen and Cater a call at 316-804-0158. That's 316-804-0158. Or you can stop into 114, that's 114 South Kansas Avenue. Make sure to look them up on Facebook, give them a like, follow, and share. And don't forget, folks, tell your friends. Carlos's Kitchen and Cater. The Newton Kansan is Newton's longest-running local newspaper, covering all the stories, people, places, and things happening in our community. Chad Fry, the Kansan guy, editor of the Kansan, works diligently to ensure integrity, accuracy, and unbiased news is delivered to your doorstep 3 times a week for an unbeatable price. You can also sign up for online-only access for around $7 a month. That's 12 online papers a month for only $7. If you've not subscribed, it's time you do. Visit them in their office at 517 North Main Street. That's 517 North Main Street in Newton. Online at thekansan.com. That's thekansan.com. Or give them a call at 316-283-1500. That's 316-283-1500. Support local journalism, support the Kansan. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this HCTalk podcast. As always, I'm your host, Lance Gormley, and my 2 special guests to be with me once again for another week are Andy Ortiz, local businessman and entrepreneur, and for the brief moment, still school board member. But shortly, we're going to have a title of two-time USD 373 school board member, former. And then we got Chad Fry, the Kansan guy, who is the editor of the Kansan paper. How are you guys doing today?
Better than I deserve.
Better than you deserve.
I'm alive and I'm awake.
So better than you deserve.
Something like that.
And I feel great.
And I'll say what I always say is I'm above ground and above water, so obviously I haven't pissed off the wrong person and I'm still doing good. Anyway, okay.
I've been online this morning probably pissing people off, and they have no idea.
Yeah. I've spent a good chunk of time when I can't sleep, which is a lot, online making people mad because
rage bait.
Doggone it, the truth just hurts, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The human condition is such that when presented with the facts, if it goes against our worldview and or what we perceive to be reality, boy, that has a way of really making people uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you know that?
People want diversity. Unless you're a diverse person that doesn't think like they do.
Yes.
Then it's okay to not have diversity. Yeah. But let me give you this criteria, and the criteria is never solid, right?
No, it's the criteria that fits
it just
what they
swings the
believe.
pendulum of, hey, what about having a person who's diverse be diverse?
Yeah.
In their way of thinking, on top of being diverse. Whoa, that's too much diversity.
No, yeah. If you don't think like me,
dang well can't elect them to anything.
Oh, no. We're the unicorns that get pissed on,
they get elected and it's the end of the world.
This is going to be so good.
Well, if you wonder what we're going to talk about today on the program, It's obvious
we're going to get there. I got something else right up here to talk about, too.
Have come and gone, nonpartisan, of course, and we all know that all nonpartisan elections are, in fact, nonpartisan and no political parties whatsoever at any point in time.
Unless a political party decides to wake up and treat it like one, which one party did locally.
Yes, locally.
They got tired of getting whooped over the last, 7 cycles and actually got something done.
Yeah.
With the numbers that they got it done, our GOP party sucks, dude.
And we will also get into that.
We'll get into it. We will.
But okay.
Because there is a really good reason that nobody's talked about as to why the election went down the way it did locally. And we're talking City of Newton and the Board of Education for Newton USD.
Yeah,
there's a very good reason that it went down the way it did. And nobody's really talking about it.
This would be a good time for your commercials in the future.
Yeah. Throw it in. Keep going, but let's get on maybe I need to change up when my commercials come in. We get you in the beginning, and then we'll throw commercials.
It's just like back in the day when you were a kid, and the Dukes of Hazzard would go, and then cut to commercial, and you're sitting there like, you could not move.
Are they going to land it?
Yeah. Talk about getting their impressions, because you're like, I don't want to miss anything. And it took me, I'm stupid. It took me till I was like 12 to understand it was like 2-minute commercial, so I had like some time to run and get a drink.
Yep.
I did not want to move. I was like, but it could come on
you're sitting there holding it.
I've had to have that conversation with every one of my kids because they're like, why do they do that? And then the next thing is, and why do they turn the commercials up so loud?
Yeah.
Well, it's so that you can go to the fridge and still hear it.
Yeah.
So enhance our community. Maybe we do something like that. I don't know.
Yes. Hey, that might be a good. I might actually do that with this podcast this time around. Hey, I'm always open for suggestions. Right. I mean, it's not like I know everything or I've got the world by the balls or anything like that. I am definitely somebody that would love to have some input and process that and apply that. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Maybe that's my worldview. Okay, so the two things we're going to talk about in the program, obviously, are local elections and the outcome and why we think that maybe we saw the results that we did. And then also at the end of the program, I think it's worth covering, briefly at the very end, that not only did we see certain results locally, but is that also more... Does it have something to do with what's going on at a national level? But before that, Chad, what do you have that's in the Kansan that's either been written or will be written that you'd like to discuss?
I wrote the story this morning that will be published hopefully this afternoon online. We're having all kinds of network trouble, so who knows what's going to happen. And they've scheduled me for some tech upgrades today, like security upgrades, so I'm just kind of whatever. But anyway... Folks, it's here. It's happening. Hillsboro Industries started production.
That's great.
Nice.
They threw an invitation-only party yesterday. I feel very blessed that I was on the list so that I could go see the new facility and take a look around. It is gorgeous. It is incredible. It is 55,000 square feet for manufacturing. 5,000 square feet of office space and 7,500 square feet for a shipping facility. And they anticipate this new trailer that they're building. And by the way, it's got the cred, man. It's got all the awards.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is gorgeous.
I saw it on the pictures. Damn,
yeah,
that's a nice
it
trailer.
Is so cool. But it's
already won.
It's already won some big time national awards in the area of agriculture, right? So it's a big, and they anticipate building 200 of those in year one, and they really believe the market is going to be for somewhere around anywhere from 600 to 1,000 of those things in a year.
Wow.
They bought 30 acres out here, folks. They're using 5. They are ready. They are ready to grow. They are honestly, this was we're going to dip our toe in the pool. We are going to expand because they've kept their facility in Hillsboro, which is something like 100,000 square feet. But because of how it was configured, and it's in Hillsboro, Kansas,
makes it tough.
They were really struggling to produce these larger trailers. That this thing is, the one that we saw yesterday is 7.5 feet wide and 40 feet long, and they are currently testing an 8-footer, 8x40.
And their location right now is prime because
Yes.
they literally are just
You got
right
access.
off Highway 50 east-west or I-135
Yep.
north-south. Even
Train
like
and
an
airport,
industrial
if
park.
you really want to get creative.
Yeah.
Yep, the airport's right there. And then there is the rail extension is moving forward, and so if they were to ever need that, we could extend it up there without any problem.
I mean, can anybody
So
honestly...
I'm telling you, this is huge.
And I got to add, in the state of Kansas here, I don't know a community over the last 5 years that has had the kind of economic development success that we have. I mean, we've got GAF, we've got Hillsborough Industries, we've got a couple different places that
you
are
had the
following
expansion
suit
of
with that.
CD Customs. You have the expansion of
Vision.
Full
Full Vision. You have Shield AI on the way.
I know, that's
Bunting
amazing.
Magnetics.
Bunting Magnetics.
It wasn't within the last 5 years,
okay.
but Park Aerospace has doubled in space, and
Yeah.
yes, Bunting Magnetics is constantly expanding. We refuse to give ourselves enough credit for what's been going on. We absolutely do, and it is time for us to start giving ourselves some credit.
And you know, the best part is many of these jobs are well-paying jobs.
Oh yeah, those Shield AI jobs, they wouldn't even say how much it was. All they would say is these people live a comfortable lifestyle. Think about
the
that for a
opportunity
minute.
to expand for the big deal behind that. If we continue to move forward and love on them and grow them and support them, it's it's almost unbelievable what can happen just through that operation alone. Now there's some risks there, right? Because they've got an idea
Right.
and they've got to make it come to fruition. But that's a good team to do that. But friends, there's other stuff coming.
Yeah.
And I went out to the airport
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I wanted to jog the memory a little bit, and I went out to the airport to check which hangar they were going in, and it's one of the bigger ones.
Exciting times.
Exciting
This
time.
is super exciting, and that's that's why I was so stoked yesterday. Granted, it was kind of cool to get a look at the new trailer because I wanted to, and I've known about. So full disclosure, I've known about Hillsborough Industry for decades upon decades. I used to live in Hillsborough. Yeah. Spent 3 years living up there, and it was the place to work. Okay, when the dairy plant shut down, everybody wanted to go to work for Hillsborough. And they wanted to try and get a job at Barkman Honey. Those were the two places everybody wanted to try and go to work. The problem that they have in Hillsborough is that it's Hillsborough.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people to...
I don't mean to insult Hillsborough.
It's just far out enough where it's harder to get people there.
Yeah.
to
It's
work.
hard to get people there.
Not a
The
big
town's
employee
only
base.
about 3,000 to 4,000 people on a good day.
And surrounding towns are not
And the
that big
CEO
either.
said it yesterday. There's just no way they can run a second shift up there because they can't get people. So what do you do in this situation? If you're in manufacturing, if you're going to build a facility, it's going to cost several $1 million to do it.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the equipment that you're going to put in it. This is a lot of capital investment. What's the smart thing to do? Run multiple shifts.
Yeah, and we're seeing all this. It's very. I think it's very promising to say that we're going to see more rooftops. I mean, we already have an astronomical amount of rooftops going
Fox
up.
Ridge has been going gangbusters.
Yeah.
You had people moving in there before the last nails were hit, and that's kind of a trend with housing in our area. Developments that pop up. You have people moving in. You have wait lists already, and that's without Hillsborough trying to pull another 50 employees and Shield AI trying to pull another 30 to 50 and GAF when they're done.
That's a couple hundred, isn't it?
When that opens up, they're going to be looking at 135 to start.
Yeah, imagine that full production.
These things are going on. Some of this stuff isn't even open yet, and we've got waiting lists in some of our housing developments. Yeah. So this is huge, all of it.
Yeah, and then so there was something I saw in the paper. I think we covered it last week. I'm not 100% sure, but the old Dillon's building right there on Main Street. They have started to tear that
demolition
down, and who knows what they're going to get into once they. I'm interested. How big of an area are we going to see have to be removed, like soil and whatnot?
They don't really know. They don't really know.
They're going to tear everything out.
They have to test continually to know how much is coming out of there.
But it's happening.
It's happening. And
it'll probably be rather quickly once they get rolling, I think.
Yeah.
Too.
I didn't look when I drove by today, but they've been working inside. My gut tells me, because of when that was built, that they're doing asbestos mediation right now. And then once that's done, they can start going after the outside walls. And when that happens, it's going to be on the ground really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast. And then the mitigation of the pollution will occur. That's going to take a little bit of time. And just to answer, one of the most popular questions that has popped up, because I posted just a photo of that to Facebook, and I mean, wow. It seems like everybody and their dog was getting in on that conversation. There's not a plan of what to build on that lot next.
But the availability of the lot in downtown,
the lot will become available.
Yes,
and the city is the owner, and the city can and probably will market that lot. Now, I'm not one of those folks that loves to do speculation, but we've already sold a lot for a warehouse out on East 1st Street. On the north side, Hillsborough Industries is on the south side. This is why we're expanding East 1st Street, by the way. And that's for warehousing, and it's for warehousing for Ben Franklin Craft. When they announced that they were coming to town, they stated they wanted both a warehouse and a retail spot.
Maybe
City's going to have an empty lot right downtown.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's not options, and it's not like they're not going to explore them, but there is not a concrete plan. They haven't made a statement, for example, that they're going to build a park there.
Well, it's prime real estate. I doubt that
it is going to prime real estate.
And I say prime real estate is in, hey, Aldi's, hey, I mean, I could just continue to throw out names of possibilities that would be.
And this town has no idea how close we came to an Aldi's. We came ridiculously close, and then a little thing called COVID came marching through our world, and the deal was off.
And not only are we expanding,
and it is literally that close. It was, we need signatures on these contracts,
and the world shifted,
and the world changed, and the contracts got set to the
Everybody
side.
Played safe.
So we were close. Yeah. I can even tell you where it was going to be, but I won't. But we were close. And so we can get there again, but it takes time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because a lot of communities want and want and want. You name a business. Freddy's. How long did we long for Freddy's? And every time a new Freddy's went up in some other town, we heard, well, why not us? And every time ground started turning on something in a commercial area, Freddy's is coming. Okay, but if you would go back and take a look.
I just locked my mouth and I didn't know nothing.
I just went back into my mind and I'm thinking I can remember those conversations.
Chicken Max is another one. We need this, we need this, we want this. Well, they've actually been shrinking. They haven't been growing.
Yeah. And they're down to 2
these
locations
businesses,
now, or 3.
These businesses that people want, a lot of people want.
Well, you have to vet the businesses right too, right? Because businesses also are at a certain trajectory, and where are they at, and what is their model, and how are they changing their models? Even your bigger stores. I mean, you have some experience with popping up stores and moving that around, and all the different factors that go into coming into communities and the business models that they embrace for whatever season they're in and whatever leadership's at the helm, right? Yeah. And sometimes they make bad decisions. How many big brands do we know have gone away? Almost all of them.
Yeah. In our lifetime, they've cycled through.
Yeah, at some point, right? And then
Kmart,
another one.
Sears.
Yeah.
Over
Food
and over.
for less.
Yeah. Food, yeah. There's another one. Yeah. It's almost like they come for a time, and then
Sears was a big one.
That
was huge for all of us, all across the country.
For years, for our entire childhoods up into
and our parents too.
Yeah,
right. I mean, yeah.
I still do business with Sears, but
what division?
Home warranty.
Okay.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
So they're still in the service realm.
And then we had the Halloween walk. Got to send a shout out to the Lions Club and everything
Yes, we
that
did.
took place there. I know that I saw they're getting ready to do, or we're gearing up for the Parade of Lights that's coming up here downtown.
We are.
This would be a great time for me to just make the comment that once again, they're subscribed to the Kansan. If you do that, you'll be able to see all the upcoming events. If you have an upcoming event, just send Chad an email.
And I'm going to get
it.
on my high horse for about 2 seconds right here, because I did what I always do on elections. And yeah, I really wanted to go to the speakeasy, but I was also sick on election day. So it was like, I don't want to expose my friends to this garbage. So I went and exposed all the people at the courthouse to that garbage. And it's not that I don't like those people; they're good people.
Yourself, bro.
Chad has to go to work.
It's like
sick.
I gotta work, and you know, these guys gotta work too. So, so I spent it in the basement of the courthouse, and one of the poll workers came in, and she walked right up to me, and she goes, "I don't know how many people talk to me about this. They wish the Kansan would do more local stuff." And they wish they would have done anything with the local elections. And I just looked at her and I went, "They're not subscribers and they're not looking."
Yeah, because if you're a subscriber,
and her attitude was like, "Oh, well, don't yell at me about it. I'm just a messenger." And I said,
Shameless plug for subscriptions.
yeah, I mean, come
yes,
on now.
this is the shameless plug for subscription.
Get it?
Because if you were a subscriber and you actually picked things up and looked, you would have gotten a full page, completely full.
So it's not only
Of
if
the
they
Board of
wish you were
Education.
doing it, you wish they were subscribing to
Yeah.
get the information.
Dang.
Because you're doing it.
Because for decades, I have had people looking at me and saying, "I wish you would do this." And I look at them like, "I do." No, you don't. Yes, I do. Do not, under any circumstances, argue with me about what is in my newspaper. There is nobody who knows better about what's in there than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is no one who knows better what work has been done than me.
And the cost is so limited.
I'm just sitting there going, and I told her, I said, you know what? Right now, online subscriptions start for 99 cents. If they would have had a 99-cent subscription, if they would have taken that out at the beginning of October, they would have gotten a complete candidate listings more than once. They would have gotten all of the profiles that we did. And oh, by the way, online, we actually put that in an elections category. So it's not like I'm telling you have to go page through to find it. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, if you would have looked on October 11th on page B4, you would have found, no. If you would have clicked on elections, you would have found.
But you should do more, Chad.
Of course I should do more. Of course I do. Of course I should do more.
I'm sorry.
I've actually had.
It's
I've
ridiculous.
actually had
I almost
people
want to
say to
insult
me.
people, but I'm not going to insult anybody.
I've
today.
actually had people say to me, "There's 24 hours a day. You should work them all." No. Okay, first off, no. But, long story short,
Should ambulance chase every time.
we don't. I don't
Stand
ambulance
by the
chase.
fire department, and when it leaves,
I
you need
do
to just roll
not
up on that,
ambulance
Chad.
chase. I don't have time for ambulance
I have
chasing.
some extra time. I can do some of that for
Yeah,
you.
that's what I'm talking about. Just like an Uber Eats, right? Just sit there and park right next to the
We'll
fire
make a little
department.
symbol for my thing, a Kansan coming. And I'll just start with the little siren.
They pull out, you pull out.
I'll have
too.
Just get me a cool press badge that's like this big.
Oh yeah, yes. I want a press badge.
Introduce me to all the behind the scenes stuff.
How is it that
I'll be on it, brother.
How is it that I'm considered a news source
I'll work for 99 cents an hour.
That's,
how about for free
what
subscription?
about $23 a day? Is that what that is, right? $23 a
I
day.
gotta sell 23 subscriptions a day to make up for my crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so anything
But it's all
else?
free. It's all free. It's all free.
Yeah, it all needs to be free. It all
That's
needs
the
to
problem.
be free. Yeah, why do you?
That right there is the problem.
Yeah,
So-
makes sense. Total sense. As though when you watch TV, it's free. Okay.
As you're scrolling Facebook, it's
Yeah,
free.
it's free. Oh yeah, it's free, right? It's totally free. Anywho, okay.
Now
So
that TV sitting on my couch or sitting on my divan, I paid for that thing.
Yeah.
Dearly.
Yeah.
So, and I'm paying dearly for the programming that goes on it.
Yeah.
Just
So
saying.
all the people that don't like our stuff, but we get all those views, are those checks still coming into you, bro? For the
Absolutely.
views? Yes.
You don't even understand it. You do not get it. You don't understand how
It's free, guys. It's free.
It's free. Watch it. It's free. It's all free.
Is it the viewership checks? Is that less if they don't like it, or more? Does it matter?
Generally speaking,
It doesn't
we did
matter.
cover.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
all
As
the
long as
same.
the view is there.
Yes. But then again, we did cover in the past.
Love it. Sorry.
The form
Am
in
I being
which most of
facetious?
this. Yes, facetious. Yes, and here's the thing. I mean, we don't try to do this, obviously, but like if you notice, rage baiting like really works effectively.
Hey, let's get political.
Yes. Okay. So it is time. It
We're
is
getting
time.
political. Here comes the
It is
rage
time.
bait.
Okay. Do you have anything
Clicks
else in the Kansan that you want to cover before we
activated.
start pissing everybody off?
Just one thing.
You gonna do a disclosure tonight?
This does not reflect the Kansan.
No, this right here is going to reflect the Kansan. Seriously.
Oh, right on.
So I want to sincerely thank the viewers of this podcast. Sincerely. I am so happy that today, when the newspaper goes out, and it's being mailed right now, we're announcing Maggie Kepley as Athlete of the Week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job, viewers.
Because that does not happen. That's a voted thing, and that does not happen without the votes.
Yeah.
And her mom is beyond excited.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Good job, Maggie.
Use it.
yes,
Yeah.
and she did that in a sport that rarely gets attention. Nobody comes to watch.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, viewers. You rock. We love you. Those that hate us and like us alike. So, and ask me if I care. I mean, come on. Like, there's been some YouTube people that have made some comments lately. And I'm like, you know what? What do I care what this person thinks of me? I just basically called him out and was like, well, if well, I'm not going to say exactly what I said. I didn't use any profanity, of course, obviously. And I was trying to be as nice as possible. But if you're going to make a stupid ass comment, at this point in time, expect me to respond with
Another stupid ass comment.
You're a dumbass. You know, like
Was
I've
it-
got no sweat off my balls. I mean, really, honestly. I mean, while we're talking about it here, I mean, I know
Was it
is.
No Face Coward Big Balls 69?
Yeah, that's what it's some obscure. This podcast makes me yawn. Well, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I appreciate your comment, your engagement. You actually put
Hey,
it
let's
out
see
in
if they
front of
yawn
more
on this
people.
next section.
No, there'll be somebody having said, you know, it's funny because I learned early on when I started endeavoring to talk about policy and politics and issues that people would say something and I would engage, right? And then in the end, what happened is people just stopped saying things. And I'm like, well, I wonder why that's the case. You know, it's like, well, when somebody opens up their mouth and then you rebuttal and it removes all doubt, well, they're not going to argue with you. I've been called a master debater.
I'm not going to say it. I'm still on the scoreboard for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I love it.
Or 2 months, sorry.
All right.
I'm not going to do it.
here.
Yeah, in 2 months, follow
Get
up.
deep in it. That Lance, he's just so good at using words and talking and he's just so good at just arguing and it just drives me crazy.
So you're saying I need to pull out the big boy vocabulary today
Oh boy.
and go back to my roots of being the ranked 5th in the nation for parliamentary debate?
Well, I remember this. Okay, this is something.
Because you know what time it is. so.
Chad, back this up. Occasionally, you could find me having an opinion in the Kansan, and
opinion,
I
yeah.
also learned this in my education of mass communication. And they literally tell you, and it is what it is. Okay, I'm not insulting anybody. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Do better. But that you have to write an article as though you were writing to an 8th grade class.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so nothing else to cover, Chad, because I want to get into.
There was
what
a
we were
movement
talking about.
afoot here about 5 years ago to move that to 6th grade. Just saying.
Idiocracy at its best. Okay, so
Great movie. Didn't know it was a documentary.
prophetic of the future that we all have to endure for those of us that actually choose to enlighten ourselves and strive for self-betterment and improvement and education. So, with that being said, what did you guys think about the local turnout of the local election? Was it surprising?
So do we want to be specific on different elections or just the Harvey County in general?
I'll say this.
Or nationally.
Okay, well, nationally, I think we can kind of gradually work through this. Okay, so
Let's just focus on New York because that's all that matters.
of course, why not?
New York don't matter at all.
National issues, you know.
You
I
smell
mean,
the
whatever.
facetiousness?
That you're being facetious. You're gonna have he's gonna facetious in his pants. Okay, we're on one today. Okay, so anyway, moving through. Okay, usually,
You sure you guys didn't try that whiskey combination?
The Gatorade and whiskey. What flavor? Gatorade?
Cherry.
Even worse.
I was desperate. I had to have something to mix it.
That's funny.
Should have just done straight shots. It would help me sleep.
See, we
better.
actually talked about alcohol.
yeah. We've attained
coolness.
We're not trying to get into anybody's lane here.
All right, let's roll.
Idiocracy
It's only going
at
to get
its
better.
best.
Give me 2 months. Oh, baby.
We're having fun. Okay. Anyway, we're just having fun,
Imagine what we'd
guys.
be like doing this actually drunk.
Oh God!
yeah.
Now
We're
you
gonna
can't.
have to do that at least once.
At least once. Oh no, we might be coming.
Tipsy.
to-
I don't
We'll
get
call it
drunk.
a we'll do it during DUI Awareness Week. Call it an awareness campaign.
My hernia almost came out.
Yeah, you know what? What would even better is to get like a sheriff on here to talk
There you
about
go.
a DUI checkpoint.
There you go.
Well,
It's
we're
like,
just-
here, wear
we
these
got- we'll
glasses. I don't need the glasses.
We'll get Chad out here to moderate.
With the glass of whiskey, I don't need the glasses. I already see crooked.
Hey, you know what I saw? Okay, speaking of this, Wanabasi, I think is how they pronounce it, county. This sheriff's department actually gives people rides if they call and say, hey, I'm intoxicated, I don't want to drive home.
Wow. That's kind of cool,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
That's very cool.
I'm sure it's expensive at some times, and there's some inconvenience thing.
Yeah.
But for the bigger picture, if you're in a community, that could work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And I do believe that they're
Talk about
followers.
partnership.
They're followers of the program, by the way, guys. We have
That's
that,
neat.
that reach. Wanabasi County. I don't even know
Thank
if I'm
you,
saying
Wanabasi.
it right. Wanabasi. Yeah, and they have a great sheriff. That he's always on social media. I think he leads the way, and like.
Well, law
yeah.
enforcement seems to be good. I had a law enforcement person call me. I won't say their names because they didn't give me permission, but they were recruiting somebody that watched an episode that we did with them, and that led somebody to a career field that they're now in, and they messaged me and said, thank you for doing the interview because somebody else is doing a different path in their life because of the interview.
And we have a sheriff's officer coming up here on the program.
How
here
cool
soon.
is that?
Yeah.
Law enforcement, we love you guys.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
More funding, not defunding.
Yeah, and in a world where it's not cool to support law enforcement, I'm not cool. So we got to get on with this, okay?
Bang,
or otherwise,
bow.
we're going to be in a situation here and not going to have time.
That sounds
to cover
pretty
what else.
Republican, what you just said. Just
Oh
saying.
God! I mean, I can't even be a Republican. Don't you know that? I'm not conservative enough. Okay.
we go.
Anyway.
Uh-oh. He's doing that glasses off.
Yeah.
He's
You just checked
focusing.
that. Okay, so I'll throw this out.
Our
I'll do
liberal
this.
Republican. Come on, baby.
Right, you're liberal Republican. You rhino, you. You
Amen.
rhino. We're all about name giving.
Bring it.
Name giving. Not my given name, but the name I'm giving. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. So anyway.
I think I might make the shirts.
Yeah, proud rhino. Yeah, I desperately need one.
Okay, so
But I'm gonna,
I'll guide this.
I'm gonna speak truth, and I'm just being honest. We have people from all political stripes that watch this thing,
Yeah.
and there's a really good chance I'm gonna step on your toes when I speak truth.
Well, one of us will in some area.
You know?
Not everybody's going to be happy
Yeah.
if we're just being honest.
Well,
and that's what we need to do.
If we piss you off, please comment and show a mad face.
You don't have to like, but yeah. Yeah,
So, mad face.
Yeah.
There's emojis. I mean, do a mad
And
face.
you won't be giving us any more income than you're giving us now, so don't worry about that.
Maybe they will because the viewership will go up from engagement. I think people realize that. I'm surprised. Okay, so let me guide this. Okay, Okay, so just generally speaking, Harvey County, there were some outlying areas. Obviously, the ordinance is now going to be in place in Halstead. Dennis Travis, who is the mayor over there, that worked really, really hard to provide economic development opportunities, think outside the box. So that little community had people in it that were mobilized, whether what they were saying is true or not, or whatever the case may be. Hindsight's, it is what it is. But that took place over there. Burton, they wound up having a little bit of a change up in some of their elected officials. Heston,
They also had a sales tax.
Yeah, the sales tax that did
ballot.
pass, thank goodness, because that's the way they pay for their roads. But anyway, so that's Burton. But locally, because we're looking at like 60+% of the population in Harvey County focuses primarily is in Newton. And
Correct.
It's all and that's encompassing USD 373 as well. So largest school district, largest community, focusing on that. I will just make a straight up point and say my opinion is that a mobilized Democratic Party, Harvey County Democratic Party, handed the Republican parties their ass.
Yeah. We got spanked.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Multiple reasons. Okay? And where I'm going to go first is this is a hard truth for the Republican Party of Harvey County. I'm going to speak specifically to these guys. Okay? And specifically to someone I call a friend. These are nonpartisan elections. Whether you like it or not, that's what they are. So instead of complaining about it on Facebook, participate in it. Because the Republican Party didn't. They weren't knocking on doors.
Well, they don't do anything.
For most of the candidates.
They're not supposed to.
No.
Just the Democrat Party can
Well,
do it.
they just want to make sure that they
Exactly. For most of these candidates that ended up on the short side of things, their version of campaigning in the local elections was to put out campaign signs.
Well, we have
And when
no
you look
support, no team.
Yeah, there's no team.
And
the number one vote
there's no
getter in Newton,
organization.
I can speak on my own
The-
experience, but
right, the number one vote getter in both races either knocked on doors or had somebody knocking on doors for them.
But you also had, and I'm a connoisseur of all things political, because I want this entire program to be about politics,
of course.
And I was looking at the two, just putting on the glasses, red lens, blue lens, okay, and looking at what was going on. What I saw was a Harvey County Democratic Party that over the last 2 years has mobilized, has built a very, very good, solid foundation by having monthly meetings, and then even then throwing in something every 2 weeks. So you have a monthly meeting, and then 2 weeks you have something to get involved in, like an educational or just kind of a way to keep people that want to participate in something in a party in that way. They can do that. They were able to utilize those two mechanisms in order to get individuals out to participate in protest, or they're trying to provide something for everyone. If you want to go out and you want to participate in a protest, we're going to do that. If you want to come and do a monthly meeting and that's all you want to do, we're going to do that. If you happen to be some of the people that want to come to the in 2 weeks to the thing that we have, that's just spending time with one another and networking with one another and being able to get some kind of an education style program out of it, we're going to do that. We're going to go out here. We're going to utilize our social media platform, and we're going to if you look at the two social media platforms, you had the Harvey County Republican GOP that didn't even post, make sure and get out to vote. They didn't post anything about Republican candidates that were running. They didn't do anything. The only thing that I heard that the chair of the Harvey County Republican Party was doing was going around to precinct committee people and making damn sure they didn't have a Democrat sign in their yard. If you call that leadership, that right there is why we're in the situation that we are in.
I want to speak to what you just
nothing.
I want to speak to what you just said about the Democratic Party. Okay?
Kudos.
Yeah.
Oh, they whipped us up and down the block.
That is
whoever's leading that Democrat Party. You know what?
That is a party.
They're doing it.
That is a party who, within the last 5 years, I in an editorial called a absolute abjunct failure.
No candidates
because they
to vote
couldn't
for.
even get candidates on the ballot.
And you know what?
And they were such a failure. Again, I speak truth. They were such a failure. Unaffiliated voters started registering as Republicans because they were absolutely sick and tired of all of the local races being decided in the primaries. Because there was nobody to vote for. Wow. Okay.
That's mine.
That's you? There was nobody to vote
Oh,
for
that damn fridge fry.
on the ballot come November. So that's the party we're talking about.
Yeah. And it must have resonated with somebody because they got on the ball.
I made them mad.
Getting people.
I made them really mad.
But
and I heard about it at the grocery store.
It's interesting. If anybody is unaware of my party affiliation, I'm a Republican. Okay, I would be considered a very moderate Republican. I'm not conservative enough. So of course there's the extreme Republican wing that thinks, oh well, you're not like us. You haven't drank the red Kool-Aid, and you don't just go along to get along. You ask questions, and you're not for our hypocrisy. So because I fall into this weird category here, you know, I was actively trying to get the Republican Party in Harvey County to do the exact same things that the Democrat Party was trying to do. You know.
Well, they're not trying.
Okay?
They did it.
They did it.
So just to be clear,
and here we are.
The Democrats, from what I was told from a friend about a week ago, had more people showing up to meetings that they have religiously
every month
than we had at our Conservative Women's Forum, which is kind of the Republican test meter on who they're going to vote for or who they're trying to put up front to say, don't vote for these people, vote for these people.
Yeah,
because they think like
get everybody here so we can
But they
gossip.
have more people showing up to meetings than they did a whole forum. Mm-hmm. And they have meetings are every single month. I think twice a month. Is that true?
They have one that's like a stated meeting basically once a month, and then 2 weeks from there, right? So it's bi-weekly basically. They have a meeting. It's a get together to where you can watch like an educational. They have something on tap.
Right.
Now I don't think those are necessarily as well attended as the monthly meeting, but it's giving people an outlet who want to be involved, network, socialize, communicate.
Well, and they're raising money, right?
Raising money.
They're supporting each other, and they're finding out where they're at.
Utilizing their social media.
And they whooped us.
They did.
Those people that have the R by their names had virtually no chance without the support of a party, which we don't have, right? And some of us aren't liked by the leadership of the party, right? And so a guy like me is out on my own island. And I'm thinking, it wasn't out of necessity, though. I was part of the problem when I came into the fold and realized how stupid and ridiculous it was. So I tried to do things differently. And what I've learned, and I got kicked in the teeth, and they kicked a good dog, is that it doesn't work. So my actions moving forward will dictate something different.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the next election cycles look like as long as I'm breathing in around here.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to do something. I mean,
it's done.
Right now, in my mental state, or my mind's eye, what we're seeing here, and
we need
once
a leader.
Again, yeah,
we need a leader.
Absolutely, we need a group of leaders, and this is the thing.
And there's got to be a change in some thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't disagree with that
because again, this was a nonpartisan election, and all that really means is that the political parties are not listed on the ballot.
Well, it's pretty easy to find out who's what.
But one party treated it as a partisan election, and one didn't.
Well, and here's the thing.
And that's the difference.
True. Yeah,
that's the difference.
And unfortunately, that won't happen again.
And
I think that's unfortunate.
I want to answer some stuff that has been said to me. This is not TDS. It is not Trump derangement syndrome. It is not the blaming of local Republicans for what's going on in Washington. This was about one party saying we are going to get out there and support the candidates in our party. And one party who took the attitude of, well, they're a Republican and everybody knows they're a Republican, so that's going to be good enough. That is not good enough.
Well, they didn't even tell people who to go for.
And to compound it all, this was an election of around 20% voter turnout. So low voter turnout.
But still more than usual, Chad.
If you have low, not really. It's only about a point higher than it was 4 years ago. So if you have a low voter turnout and you have one party that's mobilizing, even though it's the minority party, they're going to do very, very, very well.
And I still go back to
this is a wake-up call.
And we have some unique demographics in our community, because if you go and you look at registered voters and you look at unaffiliated, you do the math, you look at those that are affiliated with the Democrat Party, and then those that are affiliated with the Republican Party, depending upon what independents do, can determine real quickly what's going to happen. I mean, even if you were to go and pull 80%, you can't even say that, because the reality is
so
the majority of people.
Here's your registration list. Okay, Republicans 11,622 in the county. Democrats 5,307 in the county. Unaffiliated 5,729. Unaffiliated voters, if they were considered a party, would be the third largest party in the county. So yeah, there's your swing.
Yeah. And then you get into what would be considered. And is there really, in this day and age, anything that's nonpartisan? And I don't think that if you change the dynamics of local elections and somehow or another, miraculously, a D was by the name of individuals that were registered Democrats, or an R was by the name of those that were registered Republicans, that somehow or another that would ensure any more a different outcome than what we just saw. Do you think, Chad?
So,
do you think, if I knew this was
no.
like, do you think that, okay, I do criticize the informed voter. How many people go out and vote that are informed, right?
There is the real problem.
But I will say, with the 20%, right, it almost goes here. The lower the voter turnout, I would say the higher percentage of informed voters.
I will say this. This is what I will say. The lower voter turnout, the higher percentage of voters that are going to be voting based on who was on their front porch last week. Okay? Because we know, I mean, you heard me earlier, that they're not tuning in for, they're not going to the forums. Okay.
Yeah, where those are attended are very poor.
Right. They're not going to the forums, and very rarely are they even paying attention. So they're not going to the forums. They're not seeking out the candidate profiles. They're not seeking out information on candidates, to the point that they complain that it was never there, even though it was there. They're not doing any of that. And so their decision is, Lance knocked on my door yesterday. I might not even remember what it is he said to me, but he's working for it. There's my vote. I just can't stress enough. I am a registered Republican. So I'm speaking to my party, that I can't stress enough that in the world we're in right now, having the R is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to do something.
And it depends on how people look at that R, because...
And when you take a look, let's take a look at the city election. Okay? The number one vote getter was knocking on doors himself. Thousands of them. The number two vote getter was being promoted by the Democratic Party. I don't know if she knocked on doors or not. She was an incumbent.
Well, from what I understand, there were people that were even knocking on doors for those people.
You bet. Number 3, and an incumbent Republican. He got 2 years. And number 4, an incumbent Republican who didn't make it. And those 2 incumbent Republicans have something else in common other than the fact that they received no support from the party. And it is that they were part of, by far, the most divisive issue at the city commission that angered both sides of the aisle. Their actions angered both sides of the aisle. And so when you are a part of something like that, and you know it, because they both know it, I've talked about it with both of them, just putting out your campaign signs isn't going to be enough. And that's gonna and I straight up that's gonna go for elections where you actually have the labels on the ballot.
And I gotta say this too, Chad. You know, to me, because I'm informed and know what's going on, and I look at the 2 candidates that you talked about, one that was an incumbent that got bumped, and one that was an incumbent that got 2 years. If you look at the time of their service and what has transpired over the last few years, knowing that them being on these certain boards and being part of these discussions, that what we talked about at the beginning of the program is largely due in part by the work that they put in to grow the community. So you would think, one would think, right? Well, I've been a part of this and 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 this, all good
sure
for our community.
But as
does
we
that
also
come back to
know,
the voters' memory?
No, it comes back to the idea that negativity and anger
Get people out.
Always outweighs positivity.
Yeah.
In the political process.
So you don't care that the largest economic development prospect that Newton has ever seen in Harvey County and is the deal of the year of the state of Kansas, and jobs are being created and rooftops and the budget's being managed responsibly, and they're doing their best to be fiscally conservative, and they've been a part of putting in a new city manager and changing up some leadership and all of these things.
I care.
Don't mean squat.
If
you didn't vote the way I wanted you to vote that one time, and I'm pissed off about it.
Right. I care. My vote reflected that I care about that stuff. But I'm a minority.
Now, would you call that an informed voter?
The minority?
Well, like, if I was to vote for somebody based upon these things that I saw...
No, they're a single-issue voter.
Single-issue voter.
Makes sense. Which is almost as bad as the uninformed voter.
Doesn't that seem to drive voting in our community? And do you think that's a national issue?
Oh, yes. Massively.
Because if you look at what happened in Halstead... You got a group of people that got into hysteria mode because of the potential for there to be a best facility in the community. The current mayor was doing what his job was, which was to keep the door open for any kind of an economic development opportunity.
His job, which he did, was to encourage the planning and zoning process to complete its rulemaking before making any decisions. That was his job, and that is what he did. And because things didn't turn out the way so many people wanted them to turn out, they got rid of him.
And I'll go here.
And by the way...
And an ordinance that does away with any possibility for a best facility to come for the next 10 years. Which I think is completely...
Voter turnout for the Halstead City Council, 22.2%.
Of registered voters.
Voter turnout in the... mayoral race, 22.5.
I gotta say, and I'm gonna make this statement. I love you, Halstead. Love you, Dragons. I didn't have any skin in the game to speak of, except for that I'm a Harvey County resident, and I think what's good for Halstead is good for the whole. What's good for Newton is good for the whole, and we need to be very economic developmental friendly. But I'm going to say this, folks. Good luck getting anybody that wants to come into your community in the next 20 years and try to do anything. Because if I was a potential developer, and it wouldn't matter what it was for, I would look at that situation and go, they are not economic development friendly. They are not open-minded. They're not going to let even the process go through. Any money that I come and put into the potential to move things forward when it comes to any kind of economic development in this community, well, just point to this situation. It's almost like slitting your own throat. If you didn't want it to happen, that's fine. You didn't want it to happen. But to allow for there to be an opportunity for these businesses, these economic development opportunities to come in and at least have fair playing field, do what they needed to do, and then make the decision about whether that was going to be a good fit or not, they didn't even get the opportunity.
Correct.
And the craziest thing about it all, and I just got to laugh, I mean, it really is, and I call it crazy, is that the ordinance specifically stated that they would not want for there to be a best facility of any kind in an industrial park designated for there to be industry in, right? But yet an individual can go and put a best system in their house with not even the type of regulation necessary to ensure that you're not going to create an environment where you have, this thermal way and the toxicity that can be created if there happens to be a best fire right smack dab in the middle of your residential community. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. But it is what it is. Now, moving into this, because I want to talk real quick about the fact that, okay, so this is where we're going to make people mad, Chad.
You mean I haven't done that already?
Well, I mean, they're heated right now, and if they haven't turned us off, then it's quite possible that then we'll wind up being in a situation where they will really be pissed. Okay, so I know people that what I would consider do have Trump derangement syndrome, right? Like can do no right, can do no right, can do no right, can do no right. Horrible, 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 horrible. Okay. And then you also have people on the other end that are like, Trump is Jesus. Trump is Jesus. I drank the Kool-Aid.
They sure act that way.
Everything that can happen. It doesn't matter what he does, even if he goes and he tears down half the White House for a big ballroom that, for whatever the reason, is great, while everybody's still waiting for their grocery prices to come down because statistically people are having a very difficult time at the grocery store.
And when have they ever come down? But that's beside the point.
And then on top of that, right, getting into the situation where the government shut down and SNAP benefits being suspended, and then you have, these people need to go feed themselves and all the stuff that we see. Okay. So with that being said, how much do you really believe that national politics played a role, what's going on at the national level? How much do you think it played a role in local elections?
Are you talking about Newton specifically?
I'm talking about across the board because, we talked about the fact that the Democrat Party here in Harvey County was is a well-oiled machine, mobilized their people, and then they were able to be successful in this most recent election.
In nonpartisan races.
But if you look at nationally, across the board, statistically, they absolutely, once again, were very successful. And once again,
well, this election,
I'm not mad about anything. I'm more of a political scientist, to be real honest with you, and I'm pretty much as independent as a person can possibly be.
If you
still having a party label.
If you want my take on the national thing, here's my take on the national thing. Is that this election occurred in an environment where the government is shut down, SNAP benefits have been cut off, and I don't care what Mike Johnson says. I don't care what Donald Trump says. I don't care what any of them say. Republicans always take the blame.
Well, but they're the party.
Always.
They're the majority party right now. So
There
if you're
you
in
have
Congress
it.
and Congress is the one that has
So-
to reach as a deal, when you're in
Right.
the majority party, then
And-
that
and-
puts you in the position where you don't
as-
just leverage your majority. You work with the minority in order to reach some kind of an agreement.
So on the national level,
Or it is your fault.
you've got all these voters that are getting ready to go to the polls, and they are blaming the Republicans for the shutdown. And they're blaming the Republican Party for either A, not getting their SNAP benefits, or B, their neighbor not getting their SNAP benefits. And then you have, and I don't like to do this, but I'm going to take Donald Trump to task. You have him walking out there within days of the election saying, let's just use the nuclear option and get it open. How do you not start blaming Republicans when your leader is saying, we can do this without the Democrats, let's just do it? Come on, man.
At the same time, wanting to get rid of the filibuster?
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Now they want to get rid of the festival. Now they want to redistrict. You notice there was a lot of states that were having the conversation about redistricting, even in the state of Kansas. And on the cusp of this election, when they saw the results, and I don't care what anybody says, that's what happened. All of a sudden, we don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't want to have a special session.
We don't want to do that anymore.
And then you've got California.
It's not working for us.
And I hate hypocrisy in all forms.
We should just be like the non-hypocritical show is what we should be called.
So you got California who put that on as a ballot measure for their voters. And it won. And again, I don't like taking Donald Trump to task. I don't like it. But his name is Gavin Newsom. And he put that on the ballot for the public to vote on. And they gave him permission to move forward with a redistricting process. And now you are going to try and sue him and sue the state of California for doing what you pressured Texas to do without a public vote. Give me a break,
And
man.
I wonder if that's not why
Give
there was a
me
public
a
vote
break.
involved. Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, and I've said this before, as far as the nature of politics and where we're at this point in time, and I know you guys can remember, I can remember saying this on the program before, right after Donald Trump was elected, okay? And there was a lot of what I would consider shady business when it came to everything that was
Politics
just getting
is shady.
piled on.
It is.
Piled
It's completely
on,
shady.
okay? And with that, I said, you know, what needs to happen is this is a time to come above the fray, right? All this happened to you. You got elected. The best thing that you can do is be for the people. And instead, I've watched this administration absolutely go to war with the Democrat Party. And the only people that are dying in this war are you and me. You and me.
I used to say it, and I would say it to basically state representatives from our area, that I'm tired of having war waged on my family.
Yeah, because we're getting caught in the crosshairs.
Okay? I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. My family is not your enemy. For crying out loud, I sit here, all I do is work. That's what you want me to do. So knock it off. Either support me or get out of the hell. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
And so when you do things like actively block actual reform for health insurance, sorry. Families like mine need reform for health insurance.
And I'll go here, okay. And
I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I've been posting this online a lot the last few days, because what's been going on is people are logging into their Medicare or their healthcare.gov, and they're finding out how much their premiums are going up.
300%.
That's child's play compared to what has been happening to my employer plan. They're complaining about the deductibles going up. Again, child's play compared to what's going on in my employer plan. ACA ain't the problem. what we allow for in legal extortion that we call health insurance, that's the problem. And no one wants to deal with it. And that is the number one place where I feel like war has been declared on my family. So deal with it.
I wonder how many other people feel. See, okay, and we're coming to the end of the program. We'll continue on with some conversations next week. If you want to chime in or send us a private message about anything that we've talked about, and we can continue to cover this. Right? It's not anything that's going away. I highly doubt that the government's going to get reopened, and you know that once again, everything we talk about on this podcast is completely political in every way. So maybe we'll throw in a whiskey shot here or there in between in a solo cut. But anywho, as I was saying, we are coming to the end of the program, and want to give everybody their last word. But I want to leave people with a thought here as we've talked about all this. Really, and I mean this is a challenge question. Since Trump has got elected, all the promises that were made, how has your life in any way, shape, or form gotten better? Just please tell me. I want to know. What has Trump done that you can point to and say, my life has been improved or is better because of this? All right?
Closing down the border was huge.
Oh, I don't disagree.
That's a big, giant one. And that one has lots of splinters that come out of it. And when you start finding out the things you're finding out of where some of the entitlement monies are going, and the fact that the Democrats are not wanting to open the country back up because of some of the money that's going to healthcare for people who haven't paid into the system, those things bother me. But I think in multiples over time, that will continue to affect us in a positive way. I think the thing that sucks is the big elephant in the room is, what do we do about immigration? What do we really do about immigration? How do we really fix the main problem, not the symptoms that are around it, right? We have a really crappy system. We have not taken any real strides to make it better. And it's not serving anybody at the end of the day. And what do we do with the people that are here that are going to be here? And frankly, we need a lot of them.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? And we're not having those conversations because of the left and right, right? Yeah. And then I know in business world, Donald's done a lot for the business community. There's a lot of activity and a lot of growing and a lot of investments being made for people to have jobs and to open up sectors of the market that weren't open before, for the simple fact that that's available now. I mean, I've gotten contracts that I wouldn't have gotten recently if things hadn't been going in a better direction for investors to put money out for smaller guys like me to be able to eat off of those plates and create stuff, right? So for me, it's changed a lot. And I've been able to hire 6 or 7 new people to do labor that I couldn't have hired before because of the contracts I got. So I'm actually be able to provide for more people than I was before, for the simple fact that there's more work and people are optimistic about where we're going in a development way, right? So those things for me are a difference, something I didn't feel before or see or had evidence to say, hey, here's how my checkbook and the people around me are getting better, and my family that's down in Texas because of the moves that have been made. Are they all good? No, there's some things that I'm not happy with for sure. I want to know what's up with the Epstein files.
Still.
I want to know. I don't
think you're ever going to find out.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's obvious now. I mean, because everybody in there was the biggest hitters of we're going to get this done. And that was a marketing ploy. Mm-hmm. And good job, Donald. Just like the Democrats got me thinking that we were going to be able to do nonpartisan races locally. You know,
hey, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna throw this at you. Did I say that
out loud? Oh boy, it's coming.
I'm gonna throw this at you, man.
The train is coming.
If you coming around the bend.
Yeah. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when.
Pun intended. The train is coming, fools.
Yep. Yes, it is.
If you'd have told me even 6 months ago that I would spend a lot of time agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I would have told you you're nuts.
Ain't that something?
And
here's a sharp one for you. What about Tucker?
And if you'd have told me,
Tucker?
I don't even pay attention to him.
I don't know,
you would be scared.
I think
you would be mind freaked. The people like you,
if
would agree with,
they're going, wait a minute.
And if you would have told
really fighting for, that's something that you will not be able to push down in your heart because I know you. He's fighting for individual lives, no matter where they're at or where they're from, and the right for life for everyone. And the fact that our government is assassinating and killing people, he cannot stand. And if you were to take that part of his message, you cannot not start listening to some of the rest of the stuff that's like Marjorie Taylor Greene
well, I just kind of tuned out.
I'm just saying.
But she is right
Jack got
now.
his Mennonite side.
Yeah. She is right now the one person who is actually making sense in Congress. Think about
what's happening to her.
Think about it. Got personal.
You see how they're attacking her?
Yes. But some of this stuff, I just got done talking about health insurance. It got personal for her because this is going on in her family. So it got personal. And now she's making sense. And I'm going to tell you, I never thought I would ever say these words, but I'm just like, go Marjorie, go.
But why can't we? If she's doing the right things,
go kick ass.
Why can't we? If she's questioning and asking the right questions that are forbidden to ask, and chasing down answers, and then going to people saying, why can't you give me that answer? Yes. And they're refusing to. She's outing so many fake bastards like Ted Cruz and a lot of the other ones.
Yes, and she was on Fox News saying, I am completely disappointed in my party right now. Go, Marjorie. Because I've been disappointed in my party for a really, really long time.
The Democrats?
I am not a Democrat. I have never been a Democrat.
You're just a Democrat.
I probably never will be a Democrat.
Okay, guys, we're at the end of the program. Was that no final words this week? I just got to continue to ask the same question.
Final word from me. Congratulations, Newton High School soccer. You got one more game left as we tape this. You will be finishing no less than 4th in the state. And that is a huge accomplishment, and congratulations.
I guess since he took a last word, Andy, last word quickly, if you can,
proud of the boys. The train is coming.
All right, that's the final word. And then, once again, I'll ask the question again. Really look inside and ask yourself, how has X affected my life? How has B affected my life? How has C affected my life? In any aspect of your life, excluding politics or anything, take a moment of self-reflection and ask yourself, how has one thing or another done you well or done you not so well? And then do the hard part, which is to have courage and to change and to do what you can do to remove those obstacles that have not been good for you. Change that way of thinking to self-betterment. Have a good one, everybody.